Hi, Ryan Gray here again. So we've made a few videos of different stretches, how to do them, especially with our more severely disabled kids that aren't able to move much by themselves. And I wanted to make a video talking about some of the evidence behind stretching and why we do it. So unfortunately, the evidence behind stretching isn't very strong with kids. Some studies show that it isn't very effective. Other studies show it's not even worth the time to do. So that begs the question, why? Why do we do it? And why would I have people spend time doing it even if some of the research doesn't support it? The biggest reason for me that I do that is because still I think there's some benefit. It could help. It might help, and it's not going to hurt the kids. A couple of things. Number one, I like to imagine, especially for our nonverbal students that aren't able to let us know how they're feeling, I like to imagine that stretching them out feels good. Like, think about us just moving. Anytime we move, if we've been sitting for too long, we get so stiff and we don't think about it much. So we stretch, we move around, and it feels good to us. I have to think that it's the same for those nonverbal students. And that's what I hear also from our kids that can't stretch, they can't move themselves much. But they are verbal. They are able to tell us. They'll say that. They'll say just how good it feels to move around for someone to stretch them. So even though maybe they can't tell us, I still think it's important. I still think it feels good for them, and I think there's some value to that. So the other reason that I think stretching is important for some students is because I've heard from a number of parents that the days that they get stretched out, just a stretch with a little bit of a massage. The kids are better those days than any other days. They are more relaxed. They just seem to be in better spirits. And I put a lot of stock in that. I think that parents really know their kids. And if a parent says that it helps their kids so much, I gotta believe them. I think it makes a difference. Now, that being said, we know that stretching probably isn't that important for most students, but there are other things that they need to be doing that are very important. And they are positioning, so changing positions frequently throughout the day. For kids that can't stand, we almost always, unless there's some exception, we almost always want them getting in a stander, just to stand up. And that's something that should be happening almost every day. And think about it, if we're stretching a student, we might spend a few minutes on each leg. If they're in a stander that's pushing their knees straight and their hips up, their hips straight also, then they can be doing that for an hour, even up to 2 hours a day. That's way better than any kind of stretching that we're going to be doing for them. So it's way more effective. And the other thing is bracing. A lot of these kids need braces, especially for their ankles, right? Like AFOs. And it's the same principle there. If the AFOs are on most of the day, they're having a stretch, just a short, a low stretch. It's not like they're cranking on the feet, but they're keeping them neutral at least. And it's way better than we can do if we're stretching the kids. I hope that clarifies some things and lets at least you guys know my thoughts and kind of where the research stands on stretching. So if you guys have any questions, let me know. Thank you. See you next time. Bye.